we're going to do a garden tour for July. Let you know kind of where everything is. Some stuff is coming to an end. All of our corn is done. As you can tell here, we got that tilled under so it could start breaking down for next year and everything. But yeah, so over here we've got our watermelon. It's not doing so good, and I don't know why. I need to get this soil tested. I think it would be advantageous. I water it daily. It never really seems to hurt for water, but they just aren't getting very big. They get about that size, as you can see, and they're just not getting any bigger, and they are supposed to get bigger for sure. So could be soil's bad, but my corn out here did good. So it's later in the season. Usually when you get this time of the year, diseases and pests and everything are just at their worst. Here's the patty pan squash, and it has done so good through all of the heat, the dryness of all my summer squash. It has handled it the best. If I skip a day, it does not seem to affect it as much as some of the other stuff. But and it's producing. It's not as good as it normally be on a year that's not as hot and dry as it's been, but it's still producing. So that's good. Here is the yellow crookneck. This one definitely has gotten some sort of sickness, virus, as you can tell how yellow it is. All of it's getting watered around the same amount. These here are producing pretty good. Need to get in here and trim up. I got one yellow squash there, but it needs some more time to grow. But they're doing okay. They're starting to produce a little more. They finally gotten out of the 100-degree weather, so high 90s. They seem to do a little better when that happens. This pot I went ahead and let go. It was doing really bad. I had okra in there that ants were eating all my okra up. I could not. About the only way you can get rid of ants is you have to treat the ground or find their nest and treat that. And I was having trouble finding them because they were just all in the cracks of the ground. So anyway, and I think this soil right up here is close to our well house, and there's a chance that they got sprayed years after years after years of stuff to keep things from growing around your well house, which is very typical because you don't want any trees or stuff growing up around it. When I tilled up this area, I found big old chunks of old wood in the ground, which tells me there was trees up around this thing. And this property, I think, has been here for 80 years or something. So I don't know exactly what's in the ground. I got to get the soil tested. But I think that is majorly affecting my crop here. But here, our black-eyed peas, they grew really good all year. After I got them planted, did really good. I got some Mississippi Purple Hull. Problem with them is as soon as they bloom, the blooms just fall off. Either they don't like the heat as much as other varieties, but the green, they're doing good. They're growing. I keep them water because at least they're putting nitrogen in the ground. These here in the middle are the California black-eyed peas, and they're doing good, but the pods, see if we can find one, as you can see, just aren't very full. They're getting like, there's a little worm in that one. Anyway, as you can tell, that's just what they're doing. And I mean, they've gotten plenty of water. They're growing really good, but they're just definitely not doing like they should. And it's later in the season, and it might just be that. But yeah, I got some off today. We'll probably have a couple of helpings of black-eyed peas, maybe by the time it's all said and done. So, now we'll get over and talk about the peppers. Some of the stuff that's doing fantastic. So this banana pepper, I got it from Johnny Seeds. It's I think a goddess is the name of the variety. This year they're just not getting very big. I've had a lot of people in the area in which I'm growing this stuff. They're saying they're just not getting very big this year. But there is a lot of peppers on there, as you can see. So we'll just have a bunch of smaller ones. We tried one the other day. Tastes good. Not much heat to them. Banana peppers generally don't, but yeah, I think I counted close to 30 the other day on this one, maybe 31. So yeah, they're doing good. We got some Lunchbox Peppers here. These are doing some of the best as far as just the overall healthiness of the plant. You can see they're hidden. They're all in there. There's tons of peppers in there. This one came from Johnny Seeds too. So I think they're going to be yellow, red, and orange. I don't know. They may all actually be yellow or something, because I planted, I think it was 5 or 6 plants out here, and these 3 came up. So I don't know which ones they are. As they change, we'll know. But they are doing really good. I'll be growing these again, this exact variety, with all the 100-degree temperatures we've had, all the wind, no rain. They've just really done good. They haven't struggled with any disease or anything. Bell peppers here, they're doing pretty good. Some of them are struggling with a little lack of calcium. This one's one of the ones doing the best, as you can see. Got some bell peppers all on there. That one could be harvested. I'm gonna wait. They'll turn red, so I'll wait till that turns red, and then I can harvest some red ones and green ones. So, hey, buddy. Right over here, our plebano are starting to really put on, as you can see. So that'll be exciting. They're definitely, I don't know if they're going to get as big as typical plebanos, but I bet you they'll taste just as good. So there's a bunch on here. We got a total of 4 plants of them. There's you a bigger one there. So yeah, those are doing good. Of course, jalapenos. We will have a lot of jalapenos. They seem to be doing good. No, you know that. Uh-oh, not going off. But anyway, you see they're just loaded up on there. And then they're putting off these side shoots and putting jalapenos on there. So you can see there's one way down on the ground there. Yeah, we got a total of 6 jalapeno plants. So yeah, jalapenos. Our peppers are doing good. So of everything in this garden that we've been growing this year, through this heat, peppers have loved it. And actually right here next to us is the other thing that, as you can tell, the size of this area, I have, I think, 3 Wyatt, don't throw rocks towards the house. I have 3 honey nut squash in here, and they're still producing, and they're getting pretty big. That's a good size. Like, that is on the bigger size that you'll find. So really doing good. Have some starting to turn. That's a smaller one. And spaghetti squash. And there are plenty of those. And this is also an area that we have a hybrid spaghetti squash, which is spaghetti squash and zucchini. So, but as you can tell, they have just not struggled. I water it every day, and they like it. Down here, this area has struggled. I planted acorn squash. That's what's actually on this, which all this vine, which all looks dead, is not all the way dead, because out here on the end it's still producing. But yeah, so planted it, came up great, and then just died off like this. No vine borers of any kind, squash bugs, nothing was on it. It just got real hot, and just for whatever reason. And then it came back about a month and a half ago. Came back and is doing good. This is a butternut, and this is a really neat. Looks like a pumpkin. I don't recall exactly what it is, but we'll probably let you know. But anyway, it's a neat butternut. Really excited about it. So I only have one on here, but it's doing good. We still have time in the year. I might be able to get another one if it will. Put one on. Acorn came back. Is doing good. Got a couple acorn squash in there. So everything is just not as big as it generally is this year, but it's producing. You can tell spaghetti. That one could be picked. I'll give it a little longer, harden on off. That one too. I got several that could be, but I'm going to give them some time. So yeah, that's our winter squash area that is doing good. Here we have basil that, as I am talking, I realize is starting to bloom. So didn't harvest it soon enough. We get in this heat, you almost got to harvest it every 3 days or it'll bloom. But we have a couple other plants in here. In between, I planted some green beans. They're doing okay. And down here, we finally got our eggplant has been growing, doing good, and it finally has started to produce some. As you can see, they're getting pretty good. Never grown eggplants before. The plant has really managed this heat well. It hasn't really struggled at all. I have some pests. I've been spraying some insect soap on it to help. Seems to be some sort of little aphids trying to get on there. But other than that, it's doing good. Cucumber. Our one lone plant out of 4, I think we originally planted. I think the wind took all of the others, but yeah, there's some on there. Got 2 zucchini plants here. One of them's got a zucchini on there. Oh. And some sunburst patty pan, but it produced right after it got going, and I don't think we've gotten a single thing off of it. That one really doesn't like the heat that much and takes water more than any of the others. If I water that, if I miss a 12-hour span, it'll be bad. So here it's a kind of a mess, or not kind of, is a mess, but this is where we had our garden last year. A lot of cantaloupe came up, and I planted some tomatoes in here, So these tomatoes are not volunteer. And then we had a lot of morning glories come up, which, as you can see, they're blooming. I wanted to leave those because obviously they help bring in the pollinators. But anyway, this is a black strawberry. Never grown it before, but it is really starting to put them on now. So that's good. But it's been a rough year on tomatoes around here. I think everybody's been struggling, but they're definitely on there. They take a long time, a lot longer than your typical cherry tomatoes to ripen. I'd say 2 to 3 times as long. But anyway, we have our cantaloupe squash, or cantaloupe plant here, and this is a different one. This is a green meat one. I think they call it like an Israel cantaloupe, or there's several names for it. I'll have to look it up and let you know. But it's really sweet. It's not like a honeydew. Anyway, it's sweet. It might not be as sweet as a yellow one, but if you'll let them get real ripe on the vine, they'll get real good. So, and they're everywhere in here, as you can see, just doing good. So I've got several over there, so they're going to start coming off here, and I'm excited for them. So this area has done good as far as with the cantaloupe. You know, the other area did not do so good. But yeah, so that's that. Here we had our other corn plot. Got that done, tilled under. So I tilled this under because it was just not producing. Our corn got a little spray on it, overspray, and was struggled in, and just the heat this year was really brutal on a lot of stuff out here for us, and we don't have any shade, any protection from that. And so I had beans out here, but they were more of a cool weather bean. They were not doing well even in the shade of the corn, green beans. It just got so hot so fast that most of your beans were going to struggle this year if you didn't have a good shade, you know, almost 80% shade. So anyway, I just tilled it all under, getting it breaking down. So yeah, here we have a pink porcelain pumpkin. Got one there, and one's down in there on the vine that produced. Need to make sure that's not getting too heavy on that thing. I don't want it to break. You can't see that. It's way down in there, all completely covered. But anyway, so anyway, I've already harvested one of these pink porcelain. I've showed you some pictures. I made a video just on pink porcelain because they're really neat. We've done really good here. I'm going to get total, it looks like 3 off of one vine. I could get up to 5, I think is what they said they could produce up to. Here finally I've had another vine. It wasn't producing anything, and it finally started throwing. This is going to be called a Blue Bayou, I think is the name of it. They get pretty big. Well, I don't know if, not really compared to some pumpkins, but they're going to be the bigger ones we have this year for all of our pumpkins. I've got 2 of those. They're doing good. And I've got, here's another Blue Bayou over here. You can see this one a lot better.
Are you okay?
Then here's the half pint. I've already gotten 2. There's 2 more. Scaled way back. This is usually the time of year you'll want to scale back anyway, if you can, unless you have a lot of greenhouse, if you're growing in a greenhouse, or a lot of shade, because it gets pretty tough. So that is the garden tour. That's how our garden's doing so far. We're about to, I think another month will be, so not the next month, but the very beginning, we're going to do a early September of our fall garden that we're going to plant. and it'll probably be a two-parter because I got to prepare a lot of this area, and then we will plant a lot of obviously fall and winter hardy crops and see how they do. I've had a lot of people asking what grows really good here in the fall, and we'll just see. You know, I know around here turnip greens is something that has been grown off and on for years around this part of the country. I've got some bok choy, some kale. We're going to try several stuff and see what we can have. Some of that stuff, yeah, I think can get all the way down into single digits, so I'm excited to see, because we do get that at least once a year over winter, sometimes twice. So we'll just see.